Selamat malam, Pak Dianto. Mohon maaf sebelumnya ya, Pak, karena saya menyampaikan berita ini melalui telepon. Jadi, untuk hasil pemeriksaan yang telah dilakukan, ternyata benar sesuai dugaan.
ಹಾಯ್ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ವಿಶೇಷ ಏನಂದರೆ ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಮೇಕರ್ನ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಆದರೆ ಈ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರದ ಕಾರಣ, ಅವರು ಇಂಡೋನೇಷ್ಯಾದವರಾಗಿರೋ ಕಾರಣ ನಾನು ಈ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂನ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂಸ್ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ವಿತಿನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ವಿಷಯಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ತಲುಪ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಹೌ ಎ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಮೇಕರ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಮೇಕರ್ ಅವ್ರು ಕ್ಯಾಶುವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮನೇಲಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತು ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರುವಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಹೆಸರು ಜಾನ್ ಅಲೆಕ್ಸಾಂಡರ್ ಅಂತ. ಅವರ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ನಾನು ಲೈವಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಅವರು ಇಂಡೋನೇಷ್ಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಇದು. ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನು ಲೈವಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ 1.5 ಅವರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಟೈಮ್ನ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಕ್ಲೀನಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಇದು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಇದು. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಜಾನ್ ಅಲೆಕ್ಸಾಂಡರ್, ಅ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್, ಜಪಾನ್. Right now, what is the time there now?
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Okay, it's here like 10:30 here. 10:30.
This is the first time I see that there is a half, usually it's exactly hours, 1, 2, 3, 16 hours, but this is 1.5 hours. This is the first time I see it.
This is like, since it's our first interview, let's have all general talks, and I'll filter a few things.
Lucia gimana sekolahnya?
Sekolah lancar, Pak. Aku dapat nilai bagus di bahasa Inggris sama matematika. Hari Minggu di gereja, Lucia mau nunjukin nilainya ke Papa.
Wah, wah, Papa jadi nggak sabar nih.
So, my name is Alexander Arrospi de Linares. Actually, I'm from Peru, and I'm living currently in Indonesia. Even though I look like Asian, I am from South America. Living in Surabaya, in Indonesia. I've been here for around almost 10 years, and I've been working, of course, thanks God, into my career for all these years. I finished a career of TV production and filmmaking back in Peru. And for a while I was working in my country, and also I had the chance to work in the United States for around 5 years. Then when I met my wife and I came to Indonesia, it's like when I really saw how hard will be for me to keep working the same career, But thanks God again, I got the chance and the blessing to keep working my career currently as an independent filmmaker. We have a lot of things to do, TV production, advertisements, company profile, And from time to time, I had the chance to do my personal projects, like the one Japan, my personal vision of the way how I see life here, either in this country or my country or in United States. So I try to pass my experience into images.
Halo. Iya Pak, saya pemiliknya. Ya,
My first question is, when you started planning, like, I want to be in films, like, what was that time? What made you to make films like that made you to come international, and today I'm doing your interview?
I'm pretty sure there are many people that will identify with me. Originally, I started studying engineering. I wanted to be in engineering. I entered the university to study engineering, industrial engineering. And before that, let's say when I was a teenager, the influence that I got, not just for movies, also from animation, especially from anime, it was really strong me. And I didn't know, first, I didn't know if there was such a place and career, where to study and, what kind of subject to study, animation and where. Most of the options were outside my country. So I didn't see the possibility to have a career based on what I really like. I feel the passion to follow animation and also, filmmaking. Eventually, in the half of my career, and of course, my parents, especially my dad, got upset and shocked for the news when I told him that I really wanted to change my career into filmmaking. It's when I really, for the first time, I feel release, like free. Finally, I can do something that I like. And this is something I tell my daughter. If you want to follow a career, if you want to follow your passion, it's okay. But at the same time, you follow a career that pays the bills, So try to find a balance. It's not so easy. I'm pretty sure, again, many people will identify with my own experience. So filmmaking do not came as priority. It came, or as a need. It came as a passion born. It was something I really wanted to try. I really wanted to do, regardless if I will be successful or not. It is something that was calling me to tell stories visually. And seriously, I was not expecting to, in comparison with other people in my career, I was not expecting to go quite higher, in this career. When I compare myself with other co-workers or friends, also filmmakers, that sometimes they just give up and throw the towel and say, that's it, filmmaking is not for me. I'm still doing the same thing, Again, I can call it a blessing. I can call it a call, that is the way how I first pay my bills and also at the same time do my passion. But again, it happened in the half of other career. I have to leave aside my engineering career in order to follow my passion. I'm not regretted about it. It's just scary actually to think in that way. But that's how everything started.
But this hard step gave you a better result, right?
The satisfaction to be recognized for your work, that people says, I love your work. I love the things that you do. I love how you tell stories. I think that is the reward that everybody wants to feel sometime in their lives, that other people's recognition of your own work. Economically speaking, those projects do not pay my bills. I have to do other projects in the meantime, like regular broadcasting shows, advertisements, company profiles, pre-weddings, all those things give you money. I do it with a lot of passion. I love it. Of course, it's part of my career. But the one that I really want to do, my personal projects, my inner projects are the ones that if you see someone just clapping for it, once you deliver a product, it's a huge pain, it's a huge reward. That's how I feel it, actually.
Okay. And now, in between, I just want to switch to the perspective of public, the people, how they see the film. So again, I'll come back to this point. The point is like here in India, the people celebrate the film going to the big theaters, watching in a crowd like hundreds and 200 thousands of people. They go, enjoy, celebrate it. So, is there any people there in Indonesia which you people celebrate him as a big star and all?
Okay. First, I will let you know that when I was back in the film school, one of my teachers spoke about the Indian films. Indian films as a phenomenon. How entire families or communities go to the theater to watch event. Because film is not an event that you just sit in one big theater alone. You are with people around. You are with a lot of communities. And Indian films had a big influence in my society based on how dramatic the stories are. One of the ones that I remember, I think it's Clown. Clown is one of the movies that I really have a good memories of it, and Mother, which are Indian classics. So we celebrate nowadays. We celebrate in Peru, the movies as a recreational hobby, like okay, you go on a weekend with your friends, and you watch something interesting. Most of that influenced by the North American film industry. From time to time, you see something European, and in the really rare cases, you see something from Asia, or like Japan or Korea. It's really rare, but it happens. Here in Indonesia, though, something that I am really happy to see, and I have to congratulate actually the industry here in Indonesia, is that they are masters doing horror films.
No.
Every week,
Okay.
there is a horror film, display in the theater. And the titles are quite weird, and, because it's not my cultural background, so I understand many of the things of the folklore, regarding evil spirits or entities. I don't understand too much of these things, and I don't want to know. It's quite scary. But yeah, people celebrate here movies. The influence is quite interesting because it is true that I live in a community, Chinese community, where the influence is coming straight from China or Hong Kong. You can see a lot of Hong Kongese and Chinese movies in this society. You can see the influence from Korea, especially Korea, Japan, and then from the other side, you can see United States coming into. Like it is like a battle of which movie has the better rank in the week. But in terms of national production, I will always see every week a new poster into horror movies, and people love it. People love to go and watch these horror movies. Last week, actually, I had a pre-wedding, and I invite my couple to go to the downtown area of the city. And I forgot that they were recording a movie. It was a zombie movie. And the director, there were two directors. There was they are quite famous guys in Jakarta, actually. And I forgot that they were recording the movie. So when I was walking the streets, I saw a lot of chunks of blood. I thought there was real blood on the streets. And I told my couple, guys, like something weird is happening here. And then I saw a lot of people dressing up like zombies and camera operators and makeup artists and gigantic lights, around. I said, oh yeah, the movie. They are doing this movie here in this part of the city. And you can see how everyone wants to participate, in the show, you can see a lot of people, especially filmmakers, indie filmmakers. They want to enter into any project as long as they get experience, as long as they feel like they are being spotted by someone, and at the same time they want to show their skills. I met so many people, especially people under 25 years old, that they eager to show their projects, their products, their passion for filmmaking. They want to participate in any part of the production team, And I mean, if I just make comparison, I think it's the same passion that we have it back in home,
Masih merokok?
Usia udah tambah besar. Kalian jadi liburan?
Jadi, kami mau pergi ke...
Aku minta kalian batalin semua.
How was your mindset when you started this film called Japan, and what point you decided like I want to tell this story to the world?
Well, originally, I always was working as on the technical departments, in every production. Let's call it a system of the system of the system of the system, into production, into filmmaking. But to dare to be the director of my own project, to be the DOP of my own project, to be the editor, and most important, the writer of the story. I mean, sooner or later, you have to do it by yourself. Sooner or later, someone will put you as the head of a group. Sooner or later, you will feel that you have to do something and trying to show your voice, to the world, the way how you see, your career. So Japan was not my first try. Actually, there were two other scripts that I wrote, and I'm not a good writer, but I can say that after looking at so many scripts, after reading so many scripts, especially when I used to be a lecturer back home in the Film Institute, the idea of how to build a fantasy world, in this case, a fictional world, fictional world, to make it sound coherent, that it has a sense, logic, it's not so easy. So if I split myself into two people, into two persons, my logical side as a human being, how life happens, you have to pay bills, you have to work, you have to eat, and my other half, how you move these kind of events into a more poetic or romantic storytelling without overreacting, without adding too much salt or too much sugar to your stories. It's the moment when you start writing the story. So before Japan, and if you allow me to go a little bit back, when I started the career of filmmaking, my idea was to make Titanic 2. It's a way to say, I wanted to do something amazing, fantastic, glamorous, with a lot of special effects and a lot of actors. But eventually, that kind of vision was getting concentrate into something more powerful, which is drama. The thing is, in the film school, there are many people that say you came to the film school not to cut your wings, so because you can write amazing stories, crazy stories, whatever you want, but you are not here to be, to have your wings being cut. You are here to shape those wings and to have the right tools, the right knowledge in order to tell stories that they are strong, powerful, and affect people. And there is something that I had a teacher that always say, we are liars. We tell lies. But we have to tell these lies, we have to make these lies very convincing to people that they are watching, right? So that entered into me so strong because it's that's true. I have to tell the lie in a very logical way. So if I go back to the logical way to tell stories, when I'm writing a script, I have to find all the real things that happen in life. I cannot have my character walking from left to right, doing nonsense, because people are not like that. So life itself is already a drama. So I don't have to be over dramatic. What I have to give to my character is a mission, a duty, something to do, a purpose to do. Then, around the character, I have to build a context. Under which context is happening? It's happening into a city, in the school, in his house, and in what area it's happening, And after the context, I have to give a problem to the character to deal with that. So these three elements shape my way of writing my story. And sometimes when I play with my daughter, we like to create crazy stories. We like to play this game called Dungeons and Dragons, which is a fantasy game that you have to create your own stories, your own characters, It's a huge thing, but it's based on imagination. More crazy story, more fun we get. But then what I do is to grab the important things of the story. It's okay, what if my character struggles with this into this kind of context? Boom, I copy, paste into a script. And my source of inspiration are daily life events. I don't have to put my characters with superpowers. I don't have to write characters with, let's say, to exaggerate their problems. I just have to place them in the right situation. Let's say, bicycle thing. The guy is having his bicycle, he lost the bicycles, and he cannot make money anymore. Simple. When I'm driving around the city, I'm looking always at those stories around. I see the little kids selling newspapers in the corner in a traffic light. I see a woman, chopping chicken and selling all those pieces to people. And every single person that is approaching has their own story, Some of them comes with a motorcycle and a helmet. Some of them just coming by walking with a little umbrella because it's too hot. So you are wondering, how is these people living in their house? Do they have enough money to pay the chicken? Are they able to pay the whole chunk of the chicken, or maybe just a little bit of pieces, the chicken skin, whatever, Once you start wondering how people deal with this situation is when the script or the scenes for the script are coming into my mind. So my formula is not to create the whole script from A, B, C until Z. Is to have a scenes based on a context and give them a situation to my characters in order to deal with these situations. That's how my scripts are being written. And again, my canvas is wherever I live. Right now, I live in Surabaya, so my canvas is Surabaya. And if I grab that story, because it's a universal story, usually economical problems or healthy problems, I just move it to another country and it will work perfectly. You know, you can take my story from Japan and do it in your country without no problems. You know, nothing will change. You know, those are not universal problems that everybody has in their world. You know, economical, healthy issues, relationships with couples. You know, family relationships, mom and daughters and kids. You know, all those things are real stories.
Tapi sebelum itu, setelah misa, aku mau ngomong sebentar. Aku akan tunggu di parkiran.
Oke, tapi jangan lama-lama ya. Soalnya kita mau pergi makan habis itu.
Well, speak about this moment. How was this moment for you? When you won a bronze award, right? Bronze award
Yeah.
for Japan.
It was a mixed feelings. I was not expecting to win, to be honest. I wasn't expecting to win. I was not expecting to be finalists, as they mentioned. Yeah, why not? Thank you. It is an achievement for me. I want to take some photos with everyone, and that's it. But to be a winner was not in my plans. Seriously, was not in my plans. I was more excited for the fact to be in there rather than for coming back with the trophy in my luggage.
Nice.
And yeah, it changed everything. It
Yeah.
changed your whole perspective. Of now you believe that your work has a reason to be, it has a sense, and there are people that praise your work. So next time that when you're writing a script, you really think about it. How many films were? 5,000, 6,000? I'm not sure. There were
3,299.
thousands.
3,299
Same thing.
films. 3,299.
Imagine, you know,
Yeah.
the chances among so many films from all around the world to have to take those ones are the finalists. Are you able to come to China? Yes or not? Okay, some of them can make it, some of us cannot. Sitting in the same place, you know, like we were meant to be, you know, the winners of that night among the others. It's like a you see how the universe works, right? You see how the universe works. You know how you were selected in your country. I was selected in representing this country, and they gathered us and put places together, you know, to experience that, and by default to have this conversation as a friends, co-workers, you know, colleagues. You know, we are colleagues, sorry, and friends, and who knows, maybe in the future work together in another project. You know,
Yeah.
that's how you see how everything. You just need like a kickstart,
Yeah.
and then you see where it takes you.
It was a great validation actually for your project. Like that was the right place for your film, which was the right thing happened there. Because what I felt is like getting a recognition like within the small place, like everything is a good thing. But internationally, when you go there and receive an award, and that makes more like the what is that?
The impact.
The enough thing. Okay, this is enough. So next we'll plan it more. So that
Yeah.
satisfaction was there, even when I received
Yeah,
it.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. And okay, the years can pass. 1 year later, now you see where are you right now thanks to this. Now you evaluate and say, okay, I already achieved this thing. I already got interview here. Even my embassy in my country, they spot me and they say, you got this in recognition. That's good. Let's help you to, you know, to spread your you know, this achievement and your knowledge. Let's invite you to this festival. Come here to this city. So my embassy, thanks to my embassy, actually, I had the chance to go to places that I was trying to reach just with my film alone. So it is like this. Your film alone can be really beautiful, amazing, technically well done, a masterpiece. But if you don't show it to the world and it's not being recognized, the doors are not getting open.
Yeah. True.
No matter how many doors you're knocking, nobody will say, okay, it's a good film, blah, blah, blah. It's cool, good. But once it gets recognition, the doors are getting open for you. And my embassy knew how to, you know, make that happen. they use my achievements in order to impulse my career, to push my career, and to show, that our country exports talent, things like that. But the most important thing is the relationship between Indonesia and Peru. Like we are having a cultural cooperation. We have a Peruvian filmmaker doing films in Indonesia. That connection was like a push.
Okay.
The impact was not as I expected, but from people that there was around of me was glorious. They recognize my work. They treat me in a very nice, special way. I mean, they say, "Come on, our Alex, it's now an award filmmaker." Like, makes you feel special. Definitely makes you feel special.
Good.
That regard.
And the reason for making this interview also, it's a part of recognizing you. I wanted to make the best filmmakers to get recognized. Like I want to pick the people who are talented. Like
Yeah.
when I watched your film, like I felt like I want to make your interview. See, even me myself as a filmmaker, I feel like someone has to do my interview, and I'm doing interview without any ego. Just I want to portray the good humans, which are the good filmmakers. Just I want to portray you people on my channel, and don't know whether it gets like views, money. I don't have any point of that. I don't have any idea of it. Just when I feel like doing it, I just do it. Thank you so much, Alexander. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Vali. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for this chance.
Thank you
I
so
really
much.
hope the
We
chance
chan- we
to,
chan
to
to
see you soon, my friend.
Thank you so
Take care,
much.
amigo. Take care.
Yeah.
Take care.
Itu semua aku lakukan karena aku ingin memberikan yang terbaik untuk kalian.
Iya, aku tahu kok. Kita ke klinik besok ya. Kita semua. Lucia juga pengen ketemu kamu. Dia pingin ketemu kamu malam ini.